Hello my fellow garden gals and guys. Welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden formerly in a zone 4B, but now we just got changed to a 5A this year. So it's my first garden video of 2024. I'm going to start up front and I'm going to take you through all my spring bulbs and kind of show you just what's blooming right now. Filming this on May 7th here just north of the Twin Cities in Minnesota, so I hope you enjoy. Take care. Okay, fellow gardeners, welcome to my garden for spring 2024. I'm so excited. Look at all of these daffodils. Now, I just put in the daffodils up front. I already had the daffodils that are way in the back there by the junipers. It just needed something in this bed, and I think it was a good choice. These daffodils are really long bloomers. I have two different kinds that I will do close-ups for so you could see. Now, I only do white daffodils. I don't do yellow. Yellow isn't my favorite color. Um, but I just love the white. I think it looks so like elegant and just kind of, it's not too much, you know? So we got this prairie fire crabapple that is about to bloom soon. I would say maybe in about another week and a half, 2 weeks. And we also have these Globemaster alliums. I have alliums all throughout this bed, so as soon as these daffodils are done, the allium should pop. So these are the thalia daffodils. They're a little bit shorter, zone 3 to 8, and they get to be about 12 to 14 inches tall here. And these are a little past their prime. They've already been blooming about almost 2 weeks. A little bit shorter compared to other daffodils, but they naturalize really well. I think this is the 4th year I've had these here, and they've definitely reproduced a bit. So I love the foliage too. It's like a blue-green. So as soon as these blooms are spent, I'll just cut off the spent blooms and you kind of just leave the foliage to soak up the sun. Looks like there's a spider on that one. I didn't know. But I love these, and I think they look so good next to those blue junipers. Here's a few more, a little bunch here. Yeah, so you do have to leave the daffodil um, foliage just to reproduce good for the next year. But got some more alliums there. Here's another patch of thalia daffodils back here. So daffodils are really long bloomers in my garden and nothing bothers them. That's why I always plant them. Aren't they so gorgeous? So like dainty. But yeah, deer, squirrels, rabbits, nothing touches them. I think they're maybe have like they're poisonous to animals. I'm not positive. This is the other kind I have here. This is stainless daffodils. So these bloom just about a week later than the thalia daffodils. Aren't they just like so perfect looking? They're a bit taller, also zone 3 to 8. Now these get 18 to 20 inches tall. So this is kind of what I lined the border with. It just rained, so the heads are hanging a bit on these, but they will perk up a bit once it dries out a bit. So let me kind of take you down a ways here so you could see everything that's planted. It's like an art to figure out what is going to bloom next, or always having something blooming at all times. So I always start with the daffodils, start blooming end of April through mid-May, and then the alliums will pop. I have some creeping phlox there that will bloom shortly, a pink bloom, and then some dianthus that will bloom after that. And then all my other perennials in the bed will kind of start taking over. We'll get, the phlox, we'll get the coneflowers, things like that. I also have some nepeta. These are really short alliums. They're Ostara, so they're just in the front of the border, but I have about 5 different alliums in this bed. I'll focus on that. As soon as they bloom, I'll do another video so you can see all the different varieties. But isn't this pretty, you guys? I just love it. I just feel like this is exactly what this bed needed. I'm pretty content with how this bed is right now. So another stainless there, and the alliums over here, these are Atlas alliums. So a little bit smaller than the Globemasters. I have about 5 Globemasters that reproduced a bit in here too. And those crabapple trees are really gonna pop as well. I wish they bloomed longer. They only bloom for like a week, maybe a little longer. And then we got the Millennium alliums that will come in just there on this row. I have like 5 of them planted there. We have some creeping Jenny back here. That's aggressive, so I wouldn't plant that unless you really have the time to pull it or it's in a contained area. Here's some columbine. It's just about to start blooming. I love columbine because I can get several bloom cycles out of them, usually, not always, but they're early spring bloomer too. Here's the other side. I have this ivory Japanese lilac that's gonna start blooming soon. I'll show you that in another video. Here we have just a couple daffodils here or there, but more columbine. This one is always my first bloomer. This was here when I moved in, so I don't know what kind it is, but look at the blooms on this. Aren't they gorgeous? The only thing that really bothers this is sometimes like I think it's like sawflies or some sort of fly that eats the foliage, but I decided to add a few more in here. And those are about to pop too. I have some spaces here that I might fill. That's a work in progress. Let me show you this red bud that's blooming. This is a Minnesota strain red bud. And as you can see, the leaves are just starting to form. So it'll bloom first and then the leaves will form. I got this through our city for like $40. It was just a steal. We do like an Arbor Day thing for our city. Every resident is allowed 2 trees. So this is one of them that I picked. It likes a little bit of shade from the afternoon sun. Here is my front side yard. Everything's still sleeping. I don't have anything, you know, really popping yet except some spirea I'll show you. I don't have any containers planted yet. It's still getting into the lower 40s at night here. So I gotta wait on those as much as I would love to plant those up. But here's a really pretty spirea. This is a little spark spirea. Really kind of grabs your attention. This is sweet woodruff. I love this ground cover. It's good for shade. It's gonna open with these white blooms, and this is definitely like not a very fast grower. It's not aggressive at all, so you don't have to worry about that one. My side yard, I have some clematis and some 9 barks on the left there. The clematis is going over this arbor. It's coming in really nice. So now I did have a lot of die off this year for some succulents on the right, on the rock side of this garden. I think because it was such a mild winter, we didn't have good snow cover. So, yeah, unfortunately, some died off, but kind of excuse everything here. I haven't even cleaned up any of the leaves. I just getting to it. So, I'll just give you a quick view of this area. Got some viburnums on the left. Hostas popping through. I love my gold plants. I have dotted all over. And here's the backyard. Now I live just adjacent to the wetlands, so the wetlands are further back in the yard there, and I will take you back there if you wanted to see. We have a vernal pool back there that dries up about end of June. I just fertilized the grass a couple weeks ago, so it's starting to green up. This is a candy corn spirea. It's so pretty. It really catches my eye from the house. Now, when this breaks dormancy, its leaves are like just bright red. And then it turns into this, It's kind of golden, auburn color, and then it'll turn gold with like pink tips. It's the coolest plant. We got some ajuga back here, some delphinium. Another spirea, gold mound. That's a gold mound. That really catches your eye from afar as well. We got some more stuff I have to clean up. Another spirea there. This bed is dotted with a few gold nine barks, and I just love my gold plants. I have like 4 or 5 different varieties of nine bark back here. We have Festivus, we have Tiny Wine Gold, we have Darts Gold, we have a Raspberry Lemonade. That's this right here in front of you. And these stay pretty compact for a nine bark. About 4 by 4, they'll get at full size. And the deers don't demolish these, which is nice. I have everything here sprayed with liquid fence. This is a Lotus Moon Pearl Bush. It's a first edition plant. It's a shrub, so it's one of my first bloomers. And this is covered in buds. It'll get even more spectacular than this, but very pretty. This should get about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide as well. And this is a work in progress back here. I just planted up some cold season vegetables, radishes, lettuce, and kohlrabi. And this is where my cut flower garden's going to be, all my zinnias. I'll do rows there. I kind of just put all of my leaves here every year and let them break down. But it's really wet back here right now, and it's not warm enough to plant zinnia seeds yet anyway, so I kind of just let it dry out. But let me show you this plant. This is really eye-catching in the spring. Very pretty. It's called a Sobaria cerbifolia sem. That's a mouthful, but it's also called like a ash leaf spirea or false spirea, I believe. Isn't this a pretty color? It'll get these little white blooms on it, like little spires all over. But it is aggressive. It spreads through runners. I kind of want it to take over just behind here where we had a bunch of buckthorn removed, or there's some dead buckthorn that I have to remove also. So don't plant that unless, you have a really good space that you need it to fill in. But very pretty. Here's my little island bed here. I have purple bearded iris. These are just 3 years old. They have buds on them here, so probably in my next video you'll see these blooming. They are gorgeous. I have aspen trees back here just lining the bed. Those are the trees you see in the back. I will take you down that path shortly. I'll show you what the backyard looks like there. This is kind of my side bed here. Look at this. This is that gold lamium that I planted last year. It's so pretty with these little pink flowers. I have 2. So I hope it kind of fills in this area. Like I said, I love my gold plants. I have some astilbe back here that it isn't cleaned up yet, so I will like kind of freshen up the mulch back here and everything. On my to-do list. And this is a ground cover. This is a Aztec Gold Veronica ground cover. So another gold ground cover I found. See how that does this year. Let me take you back on this path here. This is lined with hostas, sprayed with liquid fence, or I wouldn't even have any hostas if I didn't spray. So we're kind of entering into this area. I'm going to keep more natural. I am going to put a winding path back here. We have, a bench and a fire pit, and we're slowly getting rid of all this buckthorn back here. But I did plant the 3 apple trees back here, which came back good. These are I have 2 Honeycrisp apple trees, and then this little one is a Fuji apple tree. I want to take you kind of back here so you could see all these dead twigs are dead buckthorn that we will be like chopping down kind of with like a bush hog. Now back here, this is the vernal pool. So there's like this little creek running through the back, and it's like a pool that we'll have like mallard ducks swimming back here. There's all sorts of wildlife. Very pretty. But like I said, this dries up probably by the end of June. So I'm going to plant some natives. Going to do some swamp milkweed as well. Give you one last look here. And then in another week or two, I'll share a bit more, see what's blooming. As you can see, I still have to cut down some of the old foliage, like on those grasses there. But I'm really excited for this year. Cannot wait to put in all those zinnias, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that. So happy gardening this year, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.